Alright. Welcome to another Metroid Prime Randomizer, everybody. Oh, I still have a save file from the last one. Well, we can skip ahead to the end if we want, I guess, but we don't. We do not want. So, I originally had planned tonight, this is taking place on a Friday night, which is usually my casual Friday stream where it's very open-ended and I do stuff that I don't feel fits into regular series and the rest of that. Originally, I was going to go back into Fate Grand Order and finish that chapter because we were 4 areas away from finishing Septem, and I could just go to ignoring it for a little while until I decided to plow through Okeanos for a bit, or until I had to bring my main onto BlueStacks in order to show off CCC, or I think the other event is Tokugawa Labyrinth, that are, like, actually story important. But somewhere along the way, in switching my main account to BlueStacks, because my PC is a hell of a lot more powerful than my rather crappy Android tablet is, and I wanted to finish off grinding a recent event. Between switching that and the stream account, I somehow have managed to make myself unable to access the game on the stream account, so that series is currently pretty much fuckoed until I decide to just play through the rest of that story once again, which I very well could do. I wasn't that deep into it, and if I ever do get to that, then it will come back and I will be on a completely different set of characters. Well, air quotes around completely different. I don't know about completely different, but yeah, it will not be the same, needless to say. But we will burn that bridge when we get to it. I'm actually kind of cheesed off about it because I was going to do that, and I was going to maybe do some Hollow Knight, try to find a couple of things that I haven't gotten to start in on that post-game, which I will probably end up doing next time instead of or in addition to this. But, yeah, displeased, upset, annoyed, irritated, Jimmy's rustled, biscuits burnt, salt thoroughly licked. Let us get into some more Metroid Prime Randomizer. This is my 3rd seed overall of Metroid Prime Randomizer. Once again, we are following the same rules as usual. We start planet side with the charge beam and the space jump. And items are masked, and speed tricks and stuff are turned off. So there's also been an attempt made to ensure... Oh, my connection just cut out completely there. I had a bitrate in the single digits for a second that in fact was probably 0. An attempt has apparently been made to ensure that I cannot get myself trapped, although we've seen how well that works out last time. At that time, I wasn't even doing, like, proper sequence breaking or anything. Oh, that graphical glitch is back. That's pleasant. That's the wrong door. One day I'll get this right first try. We're going over to the space jump room and going to collect our free, presumably, missile pack. Although, who knows, it could be something different, like the plasma beam or something. I don't know. Alright, what do you got for us, game? Can I hit it properly? Oh, I actually wish it was the missile pack because that would be comparatively a lot more usable. But I will just deal with this, I suppose. Oh my god, my internet connection is absolutely having a very bad time right now, so I'd like to apologize in advance to anybody who is viewing this and is just like, oh my god, what is happening? I don't particularly know either. That's kind of not great. I don't even have... Actually, I'm going to double check this and make sure that I don't have any applications running that could be just siphoning my bitrate away here. At least not to any sort of extreme extent. And I mean, everything looks okay. I do have a web browser open, but I always do that, and it's very rarely the cause of trouble. That is not a thing I wanted to do there, game. Thank you. Shut that down. Yeah. So, I don't know if somebody else in the area is, like, sucking my connection or something, or, you know, a family member is abusing the computer or whatever, or torrenting anything unsavory. Who the hell knows at this point? It could be just about anything. That little bit of lag, though, that's definitely not an internet connection issue there. Alright, so show me what's in here. It's Vanilla Chozo Ruins West elevator, of course. I don't think I've, like, ever had this elevator scrambled. Maybe once? Is it just because I really have that few items? Surely I could explore places. Focus the window again. On the other hand, I'm glad it's never been like, oh, by the way, here's the entrance to Phazon Mines. And you have to go through the... Okay, well, I'm going to assume that we get Vanilla Missile Launcher then. Or possibly Morph Ball, but it's probably Missile Launcher. Alright. I believe there is a way to get this. Actually, I want to scan it and see if it says that it doesn't know what it is. Oh. Oh, yeah. That's the wrong way to... Yeah. Well, we can pop open the door, obviously, but that doesn't exactly get us the item. I want to see if I can get this. I think there is actually a way to get it. I just don't know what it is. I would assume that the trick is basically that you have to stand on one of these vines, which are like really tiny hitboxes, basically. Because everything in these rooms is shaped very accurately, which is one of the reasons why you can do a lot of really hilarious geometry abuse, is that very few things can actually be clipped through. In that way. I mean, yeah, there's ways to clip in regular ways, but... You know what I'm saying. Or perhaps you don't. Either way is okay by me. I needed those toes. Yes, yes, we know. Hive Totem. Blah, 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 blah. I suspect these things are a hell of a lot more fun if you know how to do, like, the speed tricks and stuff. Which means I should probably learn some of them, but, I just haven't done that yet. Incidentally, I am going to try and stop giving people, like, weird tips for vanilla 100% playthroughs, because I feel reasonably confident at this point, 3 of these deep, that I'm not going to be getting a ton of viewers who are like, hey, I need help with the vanilla game. That it's mostly going to be people who are fairly aware of this, and especially because I've repeated quite a few of them at this point, I'm quite sure. But again, remember to bust out your scan visor and all of that. See, and there I go. I did it anyway. Even though I was like, okay, I'm going to try to not do that. Then what happens? It's clear that I need more things to talk about during this, but I've been quite bad at that. All right, what do you got for me? Missiles. Yep. All right, so let's take our freebie from out of here. The grapple beam! Heyo! I do enjoy a bit of grapple beam. More in this game than in, like, Super Metroid, because it's a lot easier to use here. I am genuinely quite rotten at most things in Super Metroid. And in fact, at some point, I probably will, at some point, I probably should try a Super Metroid randomizer just to show off how absolutely earth-shatteringly god-awful I am at it. Also because it would give me a good excuse to make the Cradle Lol emote that I was going to many years ago. Back when I watched the former Earthbound speedrunner Sirium, before he turned out to be kind of an asshole. That's a whole story. And I got the Morph Ball. Alright, open up. Open the damn door. Stop having it be closed. Also, that said, we now have a single power bomb and the ball. We could probably explore a shocking amount of areas as a result of this development. Assuming that things that are regular bombable are mostly power bombable. Like, for example, we would absolutely not be able to open the locked vault up there where I was trying to double jump to earlier. However, we might theoretically be able to open a couple of things that are covered by sandstone blocks to get us some items a little early. However, that might not actually pan out. We'll have to see when we get there. And we're taking a fuckload of damage from those scarabs. You should really not run through those like that. It's a stupid idea. It does a lot of damage to you. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for a lot of things. And I'll take an energy tank. At this point, that's just a free heal. That's just good times. I mean, we've already got the Morph Ball. And we got some more missiles. That's a pretty good start. I actually... Get out of the way! Come on, guys! Now you're just being rude! I mean, really? What a load of boots. Also, I just want on record that I love doing this because you just screw up the music. And I mean, this track is nothing to write home about compared to a lot of the rest of the soundtrack, but still. I love just screwing up the soundtrack order in games. It's kind of hilarious most of the time. Like, sound glitches in general. I mean, that one in Rayman 2 is a little bit hard on the ears after a while, but there was still a little bit of comedy associated with it. And no, we're not going to go down the fiery path right now. We haven't saved in a bit, and we don't have the Varia suit. So that's a pretty serious health risk. In fact, it's up to the point where with 2 energy tanks, I feel distinctively unsafe about approaching that. Alright, so are you active? Yes. A. Don't need that shit. Back up here. This is the way we need to go? Yes. I saw the blast shell on the door. I think this music is going to be going for a little while, folks, so strap in. Actually, a save station, that should fix things. Ow! Oh yeah, you guys. I've never hit them while they're sleeping. I've never hit them while they're sleeping before. That is new and exciting. And we powerbomb this open and grab ourselves a missile. Oh, that's vanilla game. Come on. Gonna be honest, I shouldn't do this. Because I have no way of knowing for sure if going to fight the incinerator drone is safe. It may actually, it may gunk me up, let's say. Well, there is a very strong possibility that the item that is shuffled there is not the bomb. In fact, every item, there are 100 items in this game, so everything has exactly a 1% chance of being a given item. Which is to say that that is a 1% chance of that being the bomb that I would need to be able to get out of there. Despite what the logic is supposed to be, I don't think that works very well. Like, it seems to be designed to guarantee that you cannot hard lock in terms of, like, you can never reach a point of not being able to make progression, but sometimes you have to reset. And maybe that's an option that I set at some point and forgot about. But I still, you know, in retrospect, if that is the case, I should go back and change that because I don't like it. It's not good. It is, in fact, rather bad. Heyo. 3. Fuck you, man. That Vine's a real jerk. That's like one of the worst positionings that I've ever had with that thing, of getting in way too close. Alright, No. Go back in. Yes, because this one, you don't want to just bull rush it because you can't actually hit them head on. They have, like, more of an angled hitbox. It's very strange, actually. Like, I can't think of a whole lot of other enemies that really have anything like that going on in a video game. And there's the bombs. It's a good thing we didn't go fight Incinerator Drone because we would have been forced to reset. On the other hand, we get the bombs so we can pop in here. We can actually skip Drone for a little while if we want to, probably, and just go fight Flagra. I don't particularly want to do that either because, I mean, both of them are a little bit not fun, but Flagra is infinitely worse. And hey, I'll take a power bomb. You know, as long as I'm not getting all of them inside of, like, an hour and a half, sure. I'm not speedrunning. I shouldn't be getting all the power bombs that fast. Actually, I might be able to put off Fuckface for a little longer there. And Fuckface in this case is the Incinerator Drone. I couldn't remember its name, so I just called it Fuckface. Because I believe I can, now that I have the bombs, I believe I can just do the, I can drain the room of the poison water and get the item from doing that. Is there an item from doing that, or is it just unlock the furnace? I think it just unlocks the furnace. However, that's still, I can go unlock the furnace. I can probably not do anything else on that side of the world. I would have to somehow get both the boost ball and spider ball to be able to do the half pipe in that area. I don't have the ice beam, so I can't do anything in the back area. Alternately, I could get the... If I get the ice beam, that would let me explore that back area. Granted, there will be some areas there that I couldn't do much with. But there would be some items I could pick up, I think. I could go to the back elevators and get the room that's usually the ice beam. And you know what? We'll find out what we can do once we get the item here. Okay, let's see something pretty interesting here. Come on. Up. Right, show me potato salad. Well, I believe that counts as being shown potato salad, so meh. Missiles. Let's go fight the Incinerator Drone, I suppose, now that we've done the thing that is usually locked by him. Open up. I guess this room takes up a lot of space in the console's memory. If I haven't mentioned before, although I'm quite sure that I have, like, multiple times, the doors are basically loading zones. So it takes that long to load things into memory. Although, saying that, considering I'm on a fairly powerful PC, I wonder if there's a mod out there, or something I could do with Dolphin or something, to just have it quick load better. That would be, well, extremely cheesy if I were actually speedrunning, but it would be pretty great for the reasons of doing these casually, which I still am. Okay, Incinerator Drone, open your eyeball. Show me your eyeball. Show me eyeball salad. Gotta target the correct enemy. Jeez, man. His targeting is making Rayman 2's look good. Granted, a lot of it is my fault here, but still, I'm not gonna be charitable to a game. Come on. Alright. One more to go. And don't quick burn me. Come on. Toggle. A big problem for the Incinerator Drone really is that its attack pattern does not change after that first set of damage. Alright, energy tank, whatever. Again, it's a good thing we didn't go in here because we wouldn't be able to get out. Hey, free artifact. I will take that most days of the week. I'll take that 8 days a week. Where am I? Alright, well, I'm gonna go back topside and go to Talon Overworld and get some items in there. Because honestly, Flogger can just go smell the glove for all I care. I don't want to fight that boss right now. It's not fun. Okay, yeah, steam room. Alright, so there's a bunch of free items over in Talon Overworld. Let's go get those. There is, at bare minimum, to my knowledge, an item in the Morph Ball Tunnel in the ship room. There's the Artifact Temple, which also means we can go get information on where all the other artifacts are. And there is the room underneath the... Let me use my word, please. There's the room under... There's the room by the elevator that usually takes you to Magmore. That you need the missile launcher for. Sorry about that. I thought I was going to belch, so I tried to mute the mic in time, and it turns out, nope. I'm just imagining things. Alright, so where's the Morph Ball tunnel? Am I on the wrong side of the room for it? I don't quite think so. That's down to the water area. Here it is. It's a missile. That's okay. I'm not going to complain about free missiles. I mean, they're missiles and they're free. What's not to like about them? I didn't do any work to get that. I just walked around a room in a stupid order. Like a person who doesn't know how to operate a room. And yeah, you can tell that I don't know how to operate anything because look at this. Look at this performance on my part. Oh, hello, Alan. How was the rest of Rogue Legacy 2? Did you finally beat that boss? And also, was that the end of the content for that matter? Because, you know, I don't know how much there is in that game yet. And hi, Tav, I don't think you've watched his content before, but, yeah. You beat it. Nice. Very good. Congratulations to you, Mr. Allen. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever game you are going to be playing starting tomorrow. Possibly Faxanadu. You implied that it was, Faxanadu, possibly. Or the Bouncer. The Bouncer! God, I haven't played that game in years. Actually, brief story about my experiences with the Bouncer. That was a missile. Brief story about my experiences with the Bouncer is that Tav, who is now going by Epionics on Twitch, loaned me his copy like 8 years ago or something. Literally mailed it all out from all the way where he lives that I will not explain on stream to over here in central Illinois specifically for me to play. He also at one point promised to send me Indigo Prophecy, but I don't know if that... I don't think that ever panned out, but, you know, whatever. Indigo Prophecy is on Steam, so I can handle that myself. I have a decent computer, I swear. And yes, the Bouncer is a very interesting game, to say the least. At least for the time. There's a lot of goofy-looking ragdoll physics, and that's always hilarious. I came very close... My other part of the story is that I came very close to purchasing it at a GameStop once, but it was listed as being for sale as new at the store, and it was in absolutely awful condition. Like, it was clearly a used case that was slightly mangled. Still had the remnants of that, you know, that plastic sticker that they put on the top of game cases. Or used to. I don't think I've purchased a new game in, Jesus Christ, since Smash Ultimate. And that didn't have that on there, if I recall correctly. So... yeah, I very much looked at that, and they were selling, GameStop was selling it at quote-unquote new for $33 in this case that it looked like somebody's dog had gotten to. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And by the way, thank you very much, Credence, for giving a gift sub to Mr. Plastic Allen. I appreciate, as always, anybody who deigns to spend money on me. It's always super nice of every single one of you. And now I have to remember where the other thing I wanted was. Shit. Oh yeah, I remember how to get to the other locality. Jesus Christ, Credence, that's a phrase. And meanwhile, this guy just gifted another... I got a question. Is the Gutsman's ass sound really quiet for anyone over there? Because I'm not hearing it, like, at all. And hopefully they didn't remove it from my Streamlabs. I would be so mad if that was the thing. I mean, at least I've still got the I'd buy that for $1 raid. At which point, clearly, I just need to change that to my sub sound and just be like, I'd buy that for $1. It's not worth $5. Da-da! I'm so glad that people are enjoying the Gutsman's ass emote, by the way. I was so happy to find that that was a thing. Like, I didn't even have to make that myself. I'm impressed. Da-da! So good. So good. Anyway, hi, I'm doing something kind of silly because there are invisible platforms up here, and I don't remember where they are. Does this thing want to kick the bucket anytime soon, or at least fire some vomit at me so I can counterattack? That doink emote is pretty fantastically used there. So yes, you can kind of see some of these invisible platforms by watching where the rain effects stop, but it's still not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to spot. Especially because I think this other one moves. Am I remembering how this shit works? Well, I just rolled off it. Whoops. Anytime my chat can have fun with Gutsman's ass is a good time for me, so... Oh no, did I say that out loud? That is totally exactly what I meant to say. You think every streamer you regularly watch is in some way obsessed or at least afflicted by ass? I mean, to be fair, the butt has definitely been a long-term fascination of the human race in general, so... Who are we to fight evolution? X-ray visor. Ooh. Well, that just made our lives a lot easier. I guess I can go back and do those platforms now easily. Don't ask and ye shall eventually roll into it anyway. And of course, there's lyrics combining it with the Jim Ross "My Ass" song. God, I love that. I hope that at some point, I hope I've linked that to other people. Especially, I know Tav at least knows a little bit about wrestling to possibly be able to appreciate some musical shitpost of somebody trimming a bunch of lines to have Jim Ross talking about his ass. So if I haven't linked that to you, I will have to do that at some point. Big nerd. Okay, yeah, there's an item further up here. And that's not how you get to it. It's a grapple spot, I think, actually. So perhaps I should try doing this correctly. That's actually just good advice in general for when you play a video game. Perhaps I should try doing this correctly. And it's advice that I never ever take. Oh, what we got here? Okay, yeah, that's just plant cover. Whoa! Hello! And obviously we can't get in here now because that is a plasma beam door. So the phase-on suit should at least give us heat protection, I think. So if this is Magmore Caverns, then we should be in the clear. Time to beat the game. On 3 energy tanks? Are you kidding me? On 3 energy tanks with only the power beam? You mad bastard, Lethal. Do it with one. It is true that you can actually, you know, energy is not a real condition here to beat the game. And, we can't go through here. Welp. The upgrade that downgrades us. Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I think technically also you could beat Metroid Prime with only the power beam if you had the plasma beam to get through the impact crater doors and then summarily lost the plasma beam, basically, or just refused to use it. Because I think you don't have to deal any damage to certain phases and you just have to get them to cycle through, which I think you can do just by waiting them out even at the early part of the fight. But I would not trust myself on that one. That said, by the way, we are using progressive suit defense, so I would basically be fighting... It would basically be the equivalent of fighting Prime with the Varia suit, and it would probably make me cry a little bit. Let's get a save, and let's get our energy back. And oh no, find out that I'm on an emulator. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And also find out that I have the emulator saved in my documents folder instead of, like, just sitting on my hard drive for some reason. Why? That's a good question. I just simply never put it anywhere else, basically. I was just like, yeah, okay, the installer is already saved in my documents, so... yeah, I'll just do it there. And that was probably the default folder. Or maybe it was just like an auto-extract thing, basically. I don't even remember now. Whatever. Oh no, I'm using an emulator. Nintendo is going to prevent me from playing in a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament. God, did any of you hear about that, by the way? Like, does anyone have any sort of commentary on the, Funhouse or whatever it was, Melee tournament, getting the axe from Nintendo because they were using Slippy.io or Slippy.gg or whatever it was to allow people to net play in Melee, which is like, it's been dead for 25 years, at least in terms of, not 25 years, pardon me, 15 years, in terms of, you know, the commercial end of things for Nintendo. They haven't been able to make any money on the game anyway because it is out of print and they have not had it digitally available, save maybe for a brief period when it was on, like, the Wii Virtual Console. Wii U or something. I mean, yeah, not even getting into the fact that Melee is, like, I don't see the fun in it. But there's a lot of things that I don't understand in this world in terms of why people like them. So, you know, like, 100 gecs is popular. That was, you know, the musical group, 100 gecs. I tried listening to them once, and it's like, oh my god, I want to put a fucking ice pick in my ear. So I'm not going to come over here and judge someone for still playing Melee. You know, you can have your hobbies, and I might be like, I don't get it, but okay. As long as you're not like a white supremacist or something, then whatever. The amount of crawling up your ass that I will do will be minimal. So, like, there is no point to Nintendo doing any of that because they cannot make any money off of Melee unless they bring it back in some way. And even then, Melee had no net play to begin with. And on top of that, it's a motherfucking goddamn I'm trying to come over here, you know, throwing out a bunch of vulgar words. Goddamn motherfucking cocksucking cunt gobbling pandemic. It's not, this is not the time, guys. This is not the time to be like, oh, by the way, you have to play in person, otherwise we're going to ban you from ever playing in an event again. Funhouse or Big House or whatever it is, Treehouse, I don't know. Bear in the Big Blue House. They're not going to be allowed to do a Nintendo event they're not going to be allowed to do any Smash events anymore because of this. Because Nintendo said, no, we would rather you die than play our games via emulator. God, I hope Shiggy has an open casket funeral and they let people piss on him, you know? My rage is destroying the frames. My internet connection is having some issues, so I'm going to assume that somebody at Metronet, or I think Metronet is the name of my IP, heard me drop a C-bomb and was just like, we have to kill this person right now. And, you know, to be fair, that is a little extreme language-wise, but, yeah. Hopefully you guys can at least hear me while I'm out here on this heinous rage and saying things that I will surely regret. Although, you know, seriously, Nintendo... My rant came through crystal clear. Awesome. Oh, one day I'm gonna get thrown out of every community. All the bandwidth is going to the rage. Yeah, that's basically about what the long and short of it is. Awesome. Between this and Rayman 2, I really am just turning into a rage streamer, aren't I? I need to start playing like Bennett Foddy and I Want to Be the Guy and stuff like that. And basically just become the most awful person possible on the internet, I suppose. I need to, like, turn completely into Dark Side Phil, so that way people will give me billions of dollars for, you know, being bad at things. That way they can laugh at it. I actually say that, I don't 100% know... Oh, wait, Beam. I'll celebrate that in a second. I don't 100% know what the financial situation is regarding Darkside Phil and what kind of money he gets. I assume that, like, people do still, like, that he has a Patreon or something, and people... There are a lot of people who are just like, oh, he's Darkside Phil, let's give him money to make him continue to be a bad person for our entertainment. I assume that that's, like, a thing. I assume there are very few people who are unironic Darkside Phil fans. Tav, as for struggling with you, at some point, yes, I will absolutely play Struggling with You. I ordered a 1080 Ti off of eBay recently as, like, my big Christmas present. Mostly paid for by my selling my Magic cards, which, you know, I... Like, or, you know, some part of it anyway. Which, really, I should be saving that money, but never accuse me of being smart, I suppose. Yeah. So, once that's a thing, I believe that I will be able to I'll be able to record better content, basically. According to the internet, Darkside Phil is making a whole $270 from Patreon simps. Jesus. Well, first of all, calling them simps on for Darkside Phil. Nobody simps for Darkside Phil. Come on. That is a hell of a lot more money than I've ever made for my Patreon, which I very rarely talk about the existence of on stream because I kind of, again, I don't want to make it feel obligational, and I have that as a thing for exclusively for my YouTube content, where I do like video essays and stuff. Stream-wise, I mean, subs exist. I assume also that it's probably a good way to get your ass kicked by Jeff Bezos himself, in this case, if you talk about other forms of monetizing yourself on Twitch. So, if that's the thing, hopefully my account stays, I guess. I feel like I'm digging myself deeper every time I say stuff like this. Let's get our item before Hey, Artifact of Sun. I didn't even look at where all my... I did not look at where any of the artifacts were, so that's nice. However, it doesn't really even give us missiles or anything. I forgot what I was saying. That's okay. There's missiles. Like, getting a job. I've tried. Getting a job is, like, shockingly very hard compared to what you might... well, what you might think. Yeah, right. People have been through the process. I have heard horror stories about every single Amazon-related facility that anyone has ever worked at, which... oh god, the square. To me, that is kind of, like, absurd. Hemorrhoid rando, Jesus. Well, you have a good sleep there, Alan. Good gracious. I'm getting confused here. Amazon, the fact that I've heard working at any of those every single one of those places is the fact that I've heard that all of them are just kind of nightmarish. Well, aside from the, what kind of work you do, that feels vaguely unprecedented in its own way. Like, how does this happen unless Jeff Bezos is personally going over there? Like, is it a rule for managers of Amazon facilities that you have to abuse your workforce in some way? I would not be surprised if it was. Unfortunately, they are fast becoming a monopoly, which, they already were doing before the pandemic. But of course, now that a larger share of shopping is online, it's getting even worse. But over the last several years, their one-stop shopness has basically made them very much a place that a lot of people have been doing all of their online shopping at. So I forgot what elevator this is. Twin Fires. Okay, we can go over here and do some stuff. I don't want to fight the boss in this area because I don't like the boss. And yeah, I at this point do not purchase stuff from Amazon. I get a weird emulator hiccup there, and I usually shop around a little bit. The primary purpose that I use Amazon for at this juncture is basically just as like a storage for a wish list, pretty much. To be like, okay, I'm interested in looking for these things. Here's a place where I can keep notes about it. And also so that way I can see a lot of the prices and be like, hey, I can probably do better elsewhere. Because usually you can. And yeah, those flamethrowers just told me to go eat it. So I guess I did eat it, unfortunately. All right, we got a couple of worms over here. eBay is generally a very good source of being able to purchase things online especially if you're good at knowing what to look for anything that would be sensitive in any way. Such as, for example, when I purchased a graphics card, it's, you know, a big thing is if they just have stock information, they just have stock pictures, stock, you know, basic boilerplate descriptions, don't buy those ones. That's a good way to get burned. Look for something with more information. And using eBay a lot will also train you to be able to recognize that sort of thing a lot better. So that's also another way that, in a way, it's also, you know, a better idea to use it even for non-economic reasons. Let's shatter this Meridia tube and get us a free item. It's Power Bomb expansion, fittingly enough. I think we're pretty much on track to probably get all of the Power Bomb expansions today, just like last time I did one of these, which is kind of hilarious. I think we can make these things do something pretty funny when when you give them 2 charge wave beam shots, they flip out and just go, what? However, that's a very dangerous operation. Don't do that. Although, on the other hand, what? Without the boost ball, we can't get to the room that originally has an artifact in the regular game. But there's still some stuff we can get going backwards here before we go to the elevator that is usually Fendrana Drifts, and knowing my luck, will here be like the other end of Phazon Mines or something. I'm pretty sure that we had the entrance elevator, and the other one will be the one in the open mining pit, which would be extremely dangerous if we didn't have the Phazon suit. I'm assuming that our having the Phazon suit, considering the last one, where despite having the progressive upgrades, I had Phazon suit and Various suit, and was having trouble with water still. So I think progressive upgrades is literally just defense. But the Phazon suit does seem to protect us from heat, so that's nice. But if I try using my actual words here for one moment, I know, novel idea, isn't it? But if it is the open pit, then we can traverse that, and we can fight almost 0 of the enemies in that room, because they're like a lot of ice troopers, plasma troopers, basically just general purpose nasty bastards. I'll take an energy tank. We take those, especially when they don't cost anything. Okay, now the problem is that I have to remember how to get into the Triclops pit here, because I kind of don't. Here it is. Alright, so we get in here, we get in the pipe. I said we get in the pipe. Also, by the way, yeah, since we have the spider ball, our ball texture is correct. I don't know if anybody caught the brief period when I had the Phazon suit and no ball upgrades, but I was using the power suit ball texture. It was like all yellow and stuff. Instead of the fancy black and red that makes us look like something designed by a 16-year-old. The Phazon suit, or as I think it was called in the dev notes, the Chuni suit. That's a really stupid joke. Oh my god. And what's worse is that I feel like only a few people are going to truly get it. Like, even among the weebs in this chat, which I'm sure that everybody in here is at least a little bit into anime and other weeb hobbies of that variety. You don't have to say it, or maybe you can if you wish, but either way, remember, we are all among friends. Prime's hiccups is due to my GPU. As far as I can tell, probably yes. I would assume so. I would very much assume that it is GPU. Enable Uber shaders. Well, that sounds just a little bit silly, but I will look into it anyway. But yes, definitely, I am very willing at this point basically to blame my GPU for anything, because I have a shocking deficiency of VRAM, or VRAM. VRAM, yeah, actually I think VRAM is the term that I'm looking for. My GPU is only a 2 gigger. It is good, but, like, I was surprised to find out just how much that was butting up against things. Tav, you sent me this card. Did I tell you that I was actually, like, ramming into it in Risk of Rain 2? With the settings capped out? Because, yeah, in Risk of Rain 2, I was actually using, like, all the VRAM when I had it at max graphical settings, and, you know, again, Risk of Rain 2 is a very nice-looking game, but it doesn't strike me as the kind of style that would be like, hey, you need a super shitter GPU to have everything maxed out. And the end result of this also was that I was getting, like, 1 frame per second or so recording in OBS. Which is, as you probably have guessed, not particularly great for something that involves the kind of motion and stuff that that game does. It's very much a fast-moving game once you get past the point. I think I was, like, actually not having any playing issues just by itself, but I was absolutely just using the thing to its limits. I am actually popping open, rearranging my windows a little bit so that way I can monitor OBS a little better. And just check and see what the overall settings are looking like, and eating a bunch of orange smoke in the face. Just to see if my FPS dips or anything. Am I on slow? I don't remember. I will look at the settings after this stream. I did not remember to switch to 60 FPS. I'll do that for... I will do that for next time, basically. I'll do that stuff after stream, so a little later this evening. Again, I kind of forgot about that after Monday. I will also note, by the way, that I have lost a disgusting amount of frames. I have, like, 23.5% dropped frames right now. It's a little appalling. I think my internet connection is just having a very bad day right now. Also, yeah, I can't do that. What's weird about the internet connection thing, though, is that I was not having issues with it earlier when I was playing other games online or anything like that. So, you know, maybe that was just inside the boundaries of good taste there. Good taste in very large air quotes. So, okay, we're going back to the other elevator. Now that we're done fucking around here. Alright, alright, alright. Get up. Get down. But yeah, speaking of GPU, I know I've mentioned this before, but using the default graphics and everything, I was having no frame rate issues with FF14. So it's really surprising that Risk of Rain 2 was butting up against it. There are a relatively few things that are just sort of disgustingly GPU intensive, but we'll, when you run into those, see if we can't deal with the puffers from here. Pull this in. At this point, we have 5 energy tanks, and I feel like I'm durable enough to take some lob damage. I don't want to do it if I don't do it on purpose, but, you know, if we do intentionally tank hits like that, it's probably okay. Ow. Stop that. Yeah, see, like that sucks, but when we take a dive in there on purpose, that's fine. And this is the part where we gotta do a bunch of these double bomb jumps here. Just to get a missile. That's a shame, but again, free item. I can't really complain, and we did that perfectly. So, you know, so what if it's not progress? That's frigate crash site. Okay, there's a free item over here as well. Folks, I've got a feeling that our next sources of progress are going to be either going to Phazon Mines, which I don't particularly want to do, or shit. It's either fight Flagra or go to Phazon Mines. And guess what I don't want to do? If you guessed either of those things, that is absolutely correct. Yikes. I got shoved off. Alright, Chief, you can stop that whenever you feel like. Well, I guess I'll go fight Flagra because that's just tedious, not hard. And Phazon Mines is... Wait, no, who am I kidding? I have the Spider Ball. I can actually go do some other stuff now if I want to. In Magmore Caverns. I can access the back half of the area. And that should get us to 2 elevators. I just have to remember how to get to... There you go. Fuck you, buddy. By that little on-ramp here. Off-ramp. Yes, here we go. We're in the tunnel. Alright. Okay, what's the next section? That's the flamethrowers. And with no ice beam, we can't really do anything about these except for wait. Don't fall into lava. I don't want to feel stupid now. I already do. Heck. Well, that's what I get for saying anything. And this is... Let's check it again. That's right, Sun Tower. So... not really a very useful position for saving the game. Ow. Hey. Buddy, you want to, like, maybe not do that? There we go. Okay, yeah, there's another thing to hit. Which I genuinely do not remember, but maybe I just did that room with the grapple beam or brute force last time. Oh, buddy, you're about to have a bad time. Squish. Nice. That felt good. I'm a real hero. These are not the enemies I want to be seeing, but sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad, and by that I mean powerbomb their asses. Get your ass out of here, both of you. Alright, so we should be able to do this puzzle without the help of the thermal visor, because I believe that the 3 targets are all quite simple to find here. That it's all just the door grates here. So ordinarily, as we've seen on this stream before, you get the thermal visor for that, and you check using the thermal visor in the lava area for some reason, and you check those walls for power conduits, which are drawn as being warmer. And to be fair, that probably would happen. In order to start up this puzzle, which is a puzzle in the loosest sense of the word. The closest there is to a puzzle aspect here is just like running paths that don't suck, and even then, you have a decent amount of time for each of these doors. And at the end of it in the vanilla game is an energy tank, if I recall correctly. So, not even something that is necessary to do, but it's one that sticks out in my mind quite a bit for some reason or another. Probably just the absurdity of getting out your thermal visor in the lava level. Because most of the time, that will not help you. In fact, I think if you do that in a few areas here, you get the "your visor is overloaded, switch it off" message that you usually only get during the Thardus fight. So that's some interesting facts for you fine folks. And for those of you in the audience who are not particularly fine folks either. Alright, Phendrana Shorelines. That is the entrance to Phendrana, so that's where we can get some free stuff. Alright, let's save. And remember to check out the other side of the level after we come back. I think I can check my, Here? Yeah. Lears, if you're still here, my CPU usage preset on OBS is indeed slow. Slow? They called you slow! How dare you call me that? Oh, you're still here, Homer? Boy, you are slow! Something said, not good. Get the hell out of here! Classic. Classic Simpsons. Oh, that's funny looking. I got that, like, weird energy barrier going around me. Again, I think that's a consequence of attempting to pre-render a cutscene that I should not have this for. Can't get that right now. Eat the pudding, 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 eat the pudding. Yep, that's... I feel like that's just sort of us whenever we, well, do, like, anything together, right? Also, I have to open the... I forgot, this door is locked until you scan... Not the chrysolite. Until you scan that thing. The door directly above... I wish I had the kind of, like, spatial memory to be like, oh, is it directly above, or is it a few pixels off to the side? But of course, if I did things like that on stream, I'm sure that there would be somebody who would be incredibly annoyed with that. And honestly, even if not, like, hopefully somebody would pretend. That's another item trapped in the ice. Dealing with this room is going to require us to make a big climb. This is to where the boost ball usually is. I admit, by the way, that I have not done Phendrana Drifts in the proper order in a very long time. So I actually kind of don't remember which room I'm going to in any given moment here. But we are approaching this in the standard order, the canon order, if you will. Although, by this point, we usually don't have the wave beam. However, I believe that that does mean that if I were to somehow get the item that is usually in the wave beam room fast enough, I could probably just escape without having to fight the enemies in there. That is correct. I usually do not have the space jump by this point either. Or the X-ray visor or the grapple beam, but neither of those are going to do us a whole lot of good. Or the Phazon suit. Although I do usually have the Various suit by this point, obviously, so yeah. The order is definitely a little bit off, but you know, the basics are still there. I guess, anyway. Yeah. Oh, it's an energy tank. Well, dang. That's a little on the disheartening side, but what can you do? This way. Our having the space jump means that we can, as I say, we can go to the wave beam room. We can go to the Pirate Bay. The Pirate Labs, and start some areas there. However, without the boost ball, we can't get the super missile. We can go to the Pirate Bay and start sailing around. And go directly to Nintendo jail. That's... Actually, I'm going to pause for a second. I realized, now that I didn't have my chat up here, serious apology for the lack of any sort of hello there greeting to Sam Bold, who I noticed just now that while the color is the same, you are clearly not Lears. That name is too long. You can tell I'm tunnel visioning a little bit. I love these randomizers. Like, seriously, I think that the Prime randomizer, out of all the randomizers that I've tried out, aside from Pokemon randomizers, but I love Pokemon so much that I actually did willingly play through all of Pokemon Uranium more than once in my life. Aside from the Pokemon randomizer, out of all the randomizers I've tried, I think the Metroid Prime one is probably my favorite. Yeah, so, like, when you're like me and it's a little dark in that area of the chat box on my layout, and also I am paying minimal attention, it'll be easy to screw that up. Metroid Prime was, like, well, yeah. I'm realizing that I'm going to sound really silly saying things like this, but Prime was almost something of a revelation for me at the time because, like, when I played it, I remember a lot of people... I played Super Metroid at the time via emulator. ZSNES actually emulated it pretty decently, all things considered. And I'd played it, and I'd gotten a good taste for what Metroid games were like, and I loved them a lot. And when I heard that Prime was going to be a first-person shooter, I admit to a little bit of dismay because even back then, first-person shooters that were not, like, Doom or Duke Nukem or other games of that variety kind of didn't have the most respect. So when Prime was revealed to be a first-person shooter, I and many other people were kind of unimpressed and were like, oh no, they're gonna do bad by my favorite. And so that ended up being very, very wrong. This game ended up being quite good, quite enjoyable, very much one of my young preteen selves' favorite games. Oh, we almost got it, folks. We almost got that without having to tick off the Shogoths. They kind of look like they're supposed to be a little bit Shogothy, but definitely they're called something a little different to try and avoid anyone going, oh, just like H.P. Lovecraft, right? I actually don't know if those existed in H.P. Lovecraft stories proper, because I admit to not necessarily being a huge expert in Lovecraftian fiction. Call of Duty 4 and World at War are games that I have not played, but have heard quite good things about from, shall we say, a varied audience. So that's good. How do you like a power bomb? Oh, I like when you get a power bomb. Because of course, with Call of Duty, the responses to it are very, very predictable, basically. There are some people who love all the Call of Duty games. There are some people who hate them. It's only very recently, Boostball, by the way, it's only very recently that we've had any sort of more in-depth commentary on them by, like, anybody other than just, oh, it stinks. It stinks. It stinks. It stinks. Yes, we know, everything stinks. And so, you know, knowing that more people like, you know, that I've heard good things about Call of Duty 4 and World at War from more people than just the average Call of Duty fans is kind of like, oh, that's very comforting. Everything stinks. Yeah, that's it. Everything stinks. Yes, my history with first-person shooters was, at the time, shockingly limited despite that initial prejudice. So it would be kind of unfair to have said much of anything about it, really, but we do not unlock anything in this area with the boost ball. Well, we unlock Pirate Bay, so I could do that. But actually, I want to find out what that other elevator is real quick. So this was definitely among my very earliest first-person shooters, and my parents were very, very stringent about ratings and stuff, and, you know, not wanting to expose their kid to anything fucked up, because I guess the real world is too fucked up as it is, to a point where I was extremely nervous about playing, when it came out for the GameCube, Phantasy Star Online, because I was only, like, I was just 12 when my brother got a copy of it for the GameCube. And, you know, for a couple of years, that was a very big obsession of mine as a game. I may go back and play that on the PC at some point. Yeah. I very much was like, okay, I don't want to do that. Well, yeah, that's a little easier for me to pick people out. And with Alan having gone to sleep, who also uses bright red. Well, I mean, what can you do? You can only do so much, but I can definitely tell that the names are different now because it's less dark. In some regards, you're quite lucky there, Tav. So, I actually reached a point in Lemmings, of all games, where I was like, oh my god, I can't play this anymore with my parents seeing because of the second special level called Menacing. I feel like I've told this story back when I played Lemmings on stream, and it's a quite gory level based off of the Cyanosis space shooter Menace for the Atari. Well, there was an Atari PC at the time called the Atari ST that was a 16-bit competitor to what I meant to actually say there, which was the Amiga. And Menace is a quite varied game as far as I know in terms of setting and stuff, so it's not like all blood and snakes and skulls and stuff, but it was like, oh my god, this is really grotesque looking. I don't think I can have this be a thing that anyone in my family sees if they're older than me. Otherwise, I'm going to get, you know, like, even at that time, I assumed my brother would probably narc on me, but then again, he, well, Fire Drake, you are the same dark blue on my Twitch panel, but in the chat box, which I have pulled up properly now, you're more of like a slightly darker sort of salmon pink. I assume that the dark blue thing is because of our old friend Streamlabs. And yeah, Sam was in, like, blue in the chat box, too, with, you know, literally same color as Lear's. Not just on the Streamlabs display, but on the chat itself. So yeah, it's much more noticeable now of a difference. So, yes. Metroid Prime was one of my very earliest first-person shooter experiences. And I'd had this strong bias against the genre that was a little bit unfounded from various places and didn't really have enough experience with it due to other things, i.e. the aforementioned content concerns. So, yes. I say revelatory and it sounds really very pretentious to make a statement like that, but in some regards, it really did open me up to... I probably would be a lot less willing to touch a lot of these games if I hadn't played Metroid Prime. And I would suspect that that holds true for a lot of people because Metroid Prime remains one of the most widely loved games out there from people who have played it, and maintains a really incredible score on, like, if not Metacritic, then a site like Metacritic. I don't know if it's specifically on Metacritic. I just remember that one of those Metascore sites, it's somewhere in the 90s and, like, pretty high up there. So it was certainly getting rave reviews at the time and continues to be beloved. To the point that, like, the hype for Prime 4, even though it's gonna be probably a jillion years before anyone sees the backside of that, you know, we're going to have several brushes with, you know, with the apocalypse before that game can even be considered to have even the slightest whiff of the light of day. But the hype for it is truly palpable despite that. And I admit, I'm pretty excited about it too, and that may be one of the very few games for, like, any point that I will actually go out of my way to purchase day one if it ever happens within my life, and assuming that I have the cash for it. Which, you know, hopefully will be a thing. Hopefully at some point I will be in a better situation, and yeah. Basically, we're genuinely hoping that the future is better than the present in general. Yes, I'm still hoping for a Prime Trilogy release on the Switch. There were rumors of it a long time ago, like, really just before Prime 4 was announced, and that was part of, like, something that was spoiled, and then I don't know whatever became of that. You know, the Prime 4 thing was a bit of a leak, like, prior to the Game Awards a couple of years ago, I think. And, that's all I got at the moment on that one. Is that I would definitely love Prime Trilogy for the Switch. Hell, even if I just had it just to play Prime 1 on the go, which is probably what I would end up doing, because I have never played Prime 3, and I played part of Prime 2 and had various parts of it where I was just kind of like, this is not exactly... It does not live up to the first game, in my opinion, which I don't know how common of an opinion that is. I feel like Prime 2 is very, very beloved to, like, maybe even a greater extent than Prime 1. But as for me, I just could not get into it, really. And it looks like we're going to have to actually do the puzzle room aspect of this in order to do it. Gotta wonder if we get a Prime 2, if we get a Prime Trilogy bundle, are we gonna get people... Is a small subset of extremely diehard fanatics going to pop out of nowhere, well, nowhere-ish, and clamor for a Metroid Other M remake/remaster? Yeah, to be fair, this game does get a little bit hard to track things sometimes. The hints are pretty good right up until you start getting to the artifact hunt, at which point it's just like, oh, bring the artifacts to the artifact temple, and you're just like, what? And otherwise, it really is just like, hey, explore everything you can, scan constantly, just, you know, you have to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, which is a thing that, what's a good way to express this? Well, first start, I'm in need of some water, but not in-game, clearly. I gotta get back up. I goofed that up pretty badly. Very much the whole go over everything with a fine-tooth comb type of aspect is very hard to get used to as a kid. And, like, even as an adult, I'm not always the best about it, even though I play games like the Mega Man Battle Network games, which really do push you to do that as well. Like, even a lot of story scenarios are just, like, you push them forward by talking to all the NPCs in the area, so it tries to train you, but it's a big blind spot that we have for some reason. I think it's just the perception that a lot of NPCs are not useful dialogue-wise. And, like, even a lot of them are not necessarily helpful for world-building reasons either. Yeah, that's true as well. Fuck. I'm not good at this. I am very not good at this. Alright, let the water drain. Unfortunately, Samus can't swim because the suit is... heavy or something. Actually, it probably would be pretty heavy. Just the... Oh, Mega Man game... The Mega Man series can be pretty tough on those final bosses. And Battle Network in particular, outside of, like, Battle Network 1 and 3, maybe, the final bosses do tend to be very hard due to a lot of gimmicks and just having very restrictive timings for when you're even able to hit them. Power bombs. Okay. And perhaps most notably about that, Battle Network 4 I always considered to be like the hardest final boss in the game, mostly because you just cannot scale up the attack damage on a lot of your chips. And the ones that you've probably been using the most during the game, because they have like some of the strongest multi-hit effects, are not usable for that fight due to the complete lack of a floor underneath the boss. So yeah, that can be quite the brutal slog. And then the main series... Well, the main series, yeah, a lot of those, the Wily machines can be quite frustrating. And the other final bosses, when they're not Wily machines as the final bosses, can also be, yeah, because a general tradition with the platforming Mega Man games is that the strongest weapon against the final boss, or often the only weapon that works against the final boss, is one of the most difficult to hit the boss with. For example, rather famously, the final boss in Mega Man 2, the wily alien robot thing, is susceptible only to the bubble lead, which is very hard to hit him with because of its short range. Well, that's okay, Tav. I'm bad at every game, so don't worry. That's really a useful thing to say, right? Zelda games are not always easy to get a not always easy to get a handle on, is what I wanted to say. Because definitely there is a little bit of, like, as I say, you really want to talk to, like, every NPC you can in a game like that. And some things are a little bit arcane if you don't. Like, OOT, of course, is probably the one that remains the most famous because it gets to all of those, like, best game ever lists and everything. I think it's a little overrated, but, you know, we're not here to discuss my opinions, at least about that. You know, I'm not here to say it's bad. I still usually enjoy it, especially in the context of a rando. So, one thing that could be a little bit arcane unless you really go digging is finding the hook shot, where you have to go to the graveyard, you have to pull the correct headstone, and find and erase Dampé. And, you know, just keep pace with him, basically, because it's not a great race. And that is a little odd to know to do, because you might not think about the graveyard, you might not visit it as a kid to really know anything about what it's like. You might not think that any of the graves have changed. You might look at it and see all the gravestones in the same pattern and be like, oh, this has to be the same, it's the same gravestones. There's a lot of reasons why you would completely miss, oh hey, I should pull this gravestone and go find Dampe, and that's going to give me the hook shot to let me get places. You wish your exhaustion were a Mega Man final boss. Well, if it was the final boss in Mega Man 3, then you could beat it in one hit with topspin if you land it properly, and that's always fun. Oh, topspin. You're a move that exists. Alright, so I'm checking to see, because I think one of these has an item in it. It might be upstairs. Imagine having your exhaustion cured by topspin. That'd be impressive. Topspin usually just wears me out mentally. And to back up to never beat the first 3 Zelda games as a kid. I'm pretty bad at those even now. But absolutely, I can definitely see why it would be very easy to not be good at, especially Zelda 1. That final boss, Ganon is just kind of a rat bastard. He is a little hard to understand what you need to do. Is this a column of some kind of the cordite casing and column? Shit! I can't open that. I need the super missiles. And then Zelda 2 is just very hard in general. And also, like, very much you get the... You also get the whole unexpected gameplay style type of thing because it's sort of like half RPG, half platformer, very odd, and extremely hard. Like, it really is probably one of the hardest games in the series. The last time I played Link to the Past, I got to the fight against Ganon, and I hit him in the back with my sword because I was kind of doing it a little badly, not remembering how to do it. I got knocked back into the pit that was opening around the final chamber. So I felt like a complete idiot. Also, that's right, I gotta kill all the space pirates in this room before I can actually start doing things. That aside, I think that a lot of the newer Zelda games have been getting better about explaining how to do some things, although there is still a lot of like, hey, explore until you run into this thing. And at times, it otherwise is just like very heavily guiding. Oh yeah, the Moldorm in 3, and by 3 I mean Link to the Past. That thing is actually quite frustrating sometimes because the platform is amazingly small. And it definitely does put a certain wind up you to see that as the first boss in Link's Awakening. Although I played Link's Awakening before I played Link to the Past, so for me it's a little bit reversed, but I would imagine that anyone at the time who was like born in 1984 or so and had been raised on Zelda and other Nintendo properties would be like, oh! I've heard that the remake of Awakening is pretty good, but I haven't gotten around to playing it myself. I should see if that's, like, you know, available for a decent cost. Because I do quite enjoy Link's Awakening, and would not mind playing the remake at some point. Fuse. Let us see what is in that item. Missiles. That's the wrong kind of missile for my needs, but what can you do? Let's go save. It's been a little bit since we've done that. Two more action buttons do a lot. I would imagine, yeah, that would make things a lot easier. Hopefully it means a lot less pause menu juggling, which was a very definite issue with Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. And to be fair, the amount of pause menu juggling you have to do in Link's Awakening is, or not even specifically Link's Awakening, but just the Zelda series in general, is one of its major flaws in my opinion, because it just breaks up the flow of the game very badly. It's also like the cardinal issue, aside from technology moving on, that Eternal Darkness had. Because you spent a lot of time in the pause menu shuffling through your magic because you just didn't have enough buttons to hotkey all your best spells. All your best and most relevant spells, as it were. So, yeah, that definitely sounds like a pretty big improvement. A lot of people have been clamoring for a remake of Eternal Darkness over the past, like, basically probably since the existence of the Wii or even the Wii U, because it's a very fondly remembered game. I think that there would be a lot of work that would have to go into it, just by virtue of the fact that, of course, most people are not using CRTs for their standard gaming sessions anymore. And so a lot of the old sanity effects would not quite work anymore. Open, and it's going to be the other way. But first we're going to try and clean up the crates in here. And I think we can get into one of these windows. Oh yeah, that's frozen over. So I need the plasma beam to deal with that. And this has been this has probably been, out of the 3 seeds that I've played of this so far, this has been the worst for getting extra beam weapons. I'm going back the way I came. I admit that I'm very easily turned around in that room. I don't particularly care about you guys. I don't want to fight them. I don't want them to exist in that sense, then. Alright, so are they going to make us do the requisite scan here? Well, they're going to give us a cutscene where we get to see the Metroid. And I believe that we are going to have to do the usually required scan, which this is one of the very few times in the game where you actually have to scan an enemy and get a piece of data on your data log here. which this is not something I'm used to because usually I just come in through the other side. And yeah, I was double checking to see if there was any other way for me to skip this. Alright, and that breaks the Metroid out of the tube. Which, again, if you're, like, genre savvy, this is a... If you're savvy about the Metroid series, that is genuinely a kind of freaky moment. Because usually your brain goes, I have to fight it with an ice beam and, like, 25 missiles to kill it. But in this game, the Metroids are super weak. So it scares you for a moment, and then you realize, oh, these are just kind of generic enemies. I can probably plow them under very readily when they show up again, as they definitely will, because it's a Metroid game. Yeah, the normal ones are super simple, and then you get a couple of the variants that are varying levels of frustrating. The Hunter Metroids are probably okay as long as you can get the drop on them. But of course, the Fission Metroids are just kind of the... Well, I usually don't do much with them, just, you know, power bomb them and get the hell out of there, but they're still kind of really annoying. However, it's also nice to see a game that, like, can actually scare you if you're being genre savvy. That it's like, oh, well, you think you know what's going on, do you, buddy? And I fell down. It's openable with a regular missile. And that's another power bomb expansion. Are we at 8? We have all the power bombs again. Wow. Okay. So, this is, as I've mentioned earlier, the third time that I've done a Metroid Prime Randomizer seed, A, in total, and B, on stream. And this is the second one in a row where I've gotten all the Power Bomb expansions very early on, and the base Power Bomb item. So, I'm up to all 8 Power Bombs this early in the game. Like, just about 2 hours into this run, and I have max power bombs. And I'm not even doing, like, speedrun stuff. I've been pointedly avoiding doing any sort of skips, that way I don't accidentally put myself in a position that is very hard to escape from. I have actually been in a few that are, like, soft-locked for a... like, certain areas. Nothing that is not recoverable from with oh my god, that's a plasma beam. Nothing that I couldn't recover from with the proper use of a reset, but I did have my last seed. I went in to fight the I fought the incinerator drone without the bombs, and it did not have the bombs for me to get out with. And I only had access to the one power bomb to be able to check the back room, and that did not contain that did not contain the bombs either. So it was expecting you to go in there with the bombs, but I had gotten there before finding the bombs, which were a fair bit deeper into the game, I think. However, again, those can be recovered from with a reset. I have yet to encounter any seed that is completely locked, that, like, you are in a place where you cannot escape at all, or rather that you cannot make forward progress without using speed tricks. Let's find out what that item is going to be. And yes, you get to see the glitched suit texture a lot better there, because I have all of the items masked, so you can't see what they are until you collect them. I have a feeling that this is going to be neither the ice beam nor the thermal visor, resulting in me having to go backward through this area without access to the thermal visor to easily find the power conduits in the couple of rooms where they are a matter to be dealt with. Which is a thing that I'm not very good at, so that could be quite the carnival, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, the darkness can be fought a little bit because of my use of the X-ray visor. Okay, that made a sound for a missile or an energy tank before I got the cutscene. And yes, this is going to be interesting. However, the Metroids breaking out should not be a huge problem due to my plasma beam. Use the thermal visor to detect enemies in dark areas. I've already explained that that's a bit of an issue. Tutorial. I'm gonna be honest though, I'm probably able to turn those off, but also I find it hilarious having the game telling me to do something that I legitimately cannot do. However, I did dismiss the warning there by hitting down. There's also a lot of red smoke going on over here. I think the conduit is just right there. I was about to try and death ray me. Face. Not much of a death ray, but it is certainly something. Excuse me. God, I bet that got caught on mic because I just turned away instead of muting my mic, which I should have done. Alright, let's turn on the X-ray visor. I can barely see the Shadow Troopers. Thank you. Room's a little dusty. So I gotta do something about that at some point. Turn this on. And what am I doing? Oh, right. It's a jump here. And that is definitely a big issue, by the way, is that seeing the turrets with the X-ray visor is kind of a pipe dream. It's not particularly easy to see them with the thermal visor either. You should be using the normal visor to spot those, because they have the little light up screens, and that's easy to see. Well, on the other hand, I was thinking I might be able to fight Thardus, but I think that would probably kind of suck without the X-ray, or not without the X-ray visor, without the thermal visor. How do I break this? Like that, okay. Because, unfortunately, I don't think that we can see Thardus' weak points with the X-ray visor. However, Thardus gets demolished by the plasma beam. So, we would still be able to do pretty good if we blind fired at the right places, basically. Unless this is the thermal visor. No, it's the ice beam. Oh. Oh, doctor. That's pretty nice. So this is the direction I want to go, I believe. So the ice beam unlocks a pretty decent amount of areas. Yeah, we are fully set on beams here. Alright, so yeah, we're going the correct direction. I had to make sure. We got all of our ball upgrades. We've got all of the beams. We're just missing a few very, very key items before the game is truly open. And those key items are primarily the super missile. The gravity suit would help a lot too, but it's mostly the super missile that we really want right now. Come on. Hey, stop body blocking that, please. Thank you. Okay, so I believe I cannot enter the lair of Thardus from the front here anyway. I would have to go around the back. Plasma Beam has opened up some free items for us in Phendrana, however, because there's some stuff stuck in ice. And if we get the other... If we get the other Phendrana elevator, we can come back to the backside of Thardus, which is probably a bit of a mistake because, again, no thermal visor. That fight would be kind of a messy deal. But we can also get another item trapped in ice in that side of the area if we end up there. So there's one of the 3 items that we get for free with Plasma Beam. Plus, I believe we can check the thing that is usually an artifact chamber in the Chozo Temple over there. In fact, let's go ahead and let's do that. We can't access that item over there because we need the super missile for it. The scan mentions a power conduit, so you would think, oh, I gotta get out the wave beam afterwards. No, it's the thing that you scan afterwards, so... yeah. Let's get back in here. Get this now while we're here. And pick up the other 2 ice-enclosed items and figure out what is our best bet to go for next. I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be going to the furnace in Chozo Ruins. And then possibly going and dealing with Flagra, I guess, because that's something anybody wants to add to the seed, right? Again, it's a good thing this isn't a speed run. This is just a casual. Otherwise, I would probably be weeping about the prospect of having to fight Flagra. Artifact of Warrior. Very nice. And again, remember that we still have not looked at what our artifact hints are. So, I did not realize that that was going to be a thing for us. I got a feeling that that item, which I'm going to forget about in the research lab that requires the super missile, will probably end up being another artifact. Just by virtue of the fact that I will forget about it, so, like, of course, something necessary to end the game will be there. Now I just don't remember where in this room that item is. We'll check around this pillar. No, I think it's over here. Huh? And in case I haven't made clear, I do love the vaporization effect for the charged plasma beam when you one-shot certain enemies. So good. Artifact of World! Ooh, nice. That's a lot of artifacts we've gotten out of melting ice. This is where the other one is. This is back in the direction of the boost ball chamber. Yeah, we got another big boss shake-up over here, and the thermal visor. Oh, yes. Oh. As soon as we find the other Phendrana elevator, we can go fight Thardus, which is always a laugh riot, so I'm very much down for that. There is another item in this room. It's over in the far corner here. Yeah, you can see where it is. It's basically straight up and through a tunnel from here. I just have to remember to get on the top layer for that. So I think we can start sort of hearing the sound of it around here. There's the spider ball track. All right, I'll take a missile. Again, we've had a really good run of stuff here, so that's always to be appreciated. Come on. Alright, so let's make our way back to the elevator, and we will actually check out our artifact hints now, because we are in such good shape that we're actually pretty close to being able to end the game, really. Alright, artifact. So, Artifact of Truth. Ruined Shrine is, fuck. It's one of the... Is that the room where Plated Beetle is usually hanging out and you get the Morph Ball? I think it is. Artifact of Strength. Training Chamber. Training Chamber is another Chozo Ruins location that we can finally access, I believe. Main Plaza. So that's pretty much free. Furnace. Alright, so that, again, we can get that pretty easily. Life Giver, Dynamo. There's a lot in Chozo Ruins, apparently, which is kind of hilarious. Arbor Chamber. Yeah, these are all, like, just sort of boilerplate things that they came up with and just have it to set the room. Fiery Shores. Is which one again? It's in the lava area, obviously. Main plaza. So there's literally 2 in the main room of Chozo Ruins. Fiery Shores is one of the rooms in Magmore Caverns, but I don't remember which one. Get out of the fire. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. But aiming at those is actually kind of hard, so... At least it is for me, so that's not to be relied on. Hey, stop that. And yeah, I was kind of expecting the rubble patch to still be there. Alright, so what's over here? Is this going to be the other part of Fendrano Drifts? Great Tree Hall lower. That is, again, potentially more free real estate. If we just go upstairs, we can go check on what's there. We can go to the Life Grove. We can get a free item. We can get a couple of free items there, actually. So this is actually a pretty good place to be at. Oh, my Discord just disconnected. That doesn't bode well. I hope my internet connection doesn't die in the middle of the stream. That would be problematic. However, it might just be Discord, so... yeah, don't get too worried about anything, I would say. By me saying that. Incidentally, there is a way to climb this area. Is it? It's a couple of platforms, yeah. And here's an item that is basically free. That's a missile. Alright, let's go to Life Grove. And then check out the other elevator. This is a one-of-a-kind thing in this game where you have a boost ball requiring a little half-pipe segment like this. And it's not very easy because of rough terrain. There we go. And it just contained a missile, but that's okay. Again, we're not specifically in a hurry to beat this. We're not intending to necessarily win tonight. The Flamethrower. A very underused item. That one. Unfortunately, I seem to recall that it's not amazing, but is made noticeably better in the Prime Trilogy. Which is kind of sad because, like, flamethrowers in video games, despite the destructive potential that you get out of them, tend to be very, very bad and very hard to use because of the short range and everything. BioShock had the chemical thrower, though, and that was fantastic. BioShock is a pretty good game. That's just a missile pack. That's mildly unfortunate, but that's ultimately not going to be a huge issue. The main thing that I would be concerned about being walled by this point is, of course, the super missile. Around here. Yeah, I'm now realizing that I don't 100% remember how to climb this room back up, because we got to get back to the entrance in order to get out. And I'm using the X-ray visor to ensure that it's not something that I need to X-ray to see. Just go this way? Yes. It was much simpler than that. That's good. And it's up in the wall. A little bit of ball track here. Or track ball, as the case may be. Go this way. And we should be, I was going to say, we should be triggering a fight with the Chozo Ghosts pretty soon. I'm trying to maintain my ground here just for reasons of it's a little simpler. Gotta fight him with the power beam, but thankfully we can get some pretty great rapid fire going if we don't get stunned by their energy balls. Bit of a hiccup there. Alright, just keel over already. Come on. Just do your thing. Do the pose. There we go. Man, those things are pretty durable. Although I guess I don't know much about killing ghosts, so maybe that's actually quite normal. Find out where this goes. Phazon mines. Fuck. Incidentally, this I think is my only seed so far where I have not had to fight the Phazon Elite for an artifact. Which is pretty great because usually you usually do in the main game anyway, so it's different. And I fell in the water. Oh. Alright, so we're switching to ball form so that way we can get a better view, because without the gravity suit, our water vision is abysmal. Or I suppose you could say it's abyssal. I've still got it. Oh, by the way, let's just see this though. Yep, we are immune to phazon radiation and heat. Tav coming in here because he heard a terrible pun. Oh. Oh, I know what brings in the viewers, folks. And it's really bad jokes. Alright, so let's get our asses back to the place that is Chozo Ruins. Alright, workstation, geothermal core, twin fires. Alright, Fiery Shores is on the other side of the elevator. No real reason to go to the plasma processing room. Is Ruined Shrine the room with the fountain in it? And that's how you cross that room in style. With, or, you know, with less falling into lava, but a higher risk of it. Or alternately, just with the grapple beam. Passed it over. I did it dumb. X-ray visor. Right, yeah, this is Fiery Shores. I got the item earlier. In this tube? Well, I got an item here earlier anyway. Tube is just a shortcut across the lava, right? This is flat. It doesn't include... Wait, did I fuck this up? I could swear that I got this. X-ray visor. Because this isn't the sort of game where things will, like, pop into reality, by the way, if you're, like, unfamiliar with these kind of games, so... It's not like, oh, kill all the enemies in the room and you'll get your prize. No, that's not a thing that happens. Well, like any Metroid game, as far as I know. Certainly not this one. Yeah, see, I got that, and... So, what am I missing in this room? What am I forgetting? Wait a second, that room is part of... I do have to go through the warrior shrine, I think, so... Right, because... My brain was going, they wouldn't make you do that because this is another part of the level that you're not expected to come to until later on. But you have to use the power bomb to get it. So yeah, it's just that I'm an idiot, and I forgot how this level worked. Alright, so here we are. I do that alright so thing a lot for some reason. I don't know what ever made me start talking like this, but it does indeed contribute to me not necessarily being very eloquent sometimes. To the point where I mispronounce eloquent. However, we are able to go to the warrior shrine here and get an item. This is usually where an artifact is located. And then we blow open this panel. And we get ourselves the artifact of spirits. Here, that is... Okay, that's back towards workstation. I don't want to go backwards. I've spent too much time in this area being confused by something that's really easy to find if I only remembered. Although saying that, I'm sure that for like most people playing the game, that item is shockingly well hidden, unless you happened to have scanned it and just remembered for that long. Because you usually get the power bomb a pretty decent chunk into the game after when you would first get to the warrior shrine. I think that's what that room is called. So you would absolutely have to be like, hey, what's this panel on the floor that you could pretty easily miss and pretty easily think is nothing to begin with and not think to scan it. And then realize it says, oh, by the way, this is made of bendesium, which is the power bombable material. And think, oh, guess I gotta come back for that. And then remember later on, oh shit, that's a thing that can be power bombed. It's a lot of remembering, that's for sure. And this is the incorrect direction. Let's go out this way, in fact. And take a drop in the main plaza. And grab the item out of the tree and out of the half pipe. And then presumably have to do the entire training chamber sequence, or training chamber sequence. Well, I guess that is correct, but at least I think that's the training chamber, the area past the lava room. I believe that's what it's called. Anyway, there are a lot of ghosts in our future, needless to say. And not necessarily because we're going to be murdering a bunch of people. Although, saying that, there will definitely be, those ghosts will definitely all be getting murdered. Right, artifact of newborn acquired. So now we got to deal with this knot hole in the tree. Oh, right. Super missile. We don't have that. Yeah, see? It's not giving us the thing turning red to signify that, but we do not have the super missile. We do have our power bombs, and that might not be very easy for me to guarantee is in the area. In fact, I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, no. So, again, we might very well be walled behind the super missile. What we can do is we can go over to Ruined Shrine, and we can get the other artifact that's there. Then we go to the fountain room, we go to the furnace, we can grab some extra stuff around the back area of the back area there. And yeah, we skipped over the plated beetle fight, so you'll see that we're not getting the boss music and we're getting the regular spawns in here. Artifact of Truth. Okay. No real reason to negotiate the tower. And the dynamo, I think, is the room where we... the room off of where we usually get the charge beam. I believe. So... it's okay. We'll come back to that part of the level after we do this one. Where we, first of all, we get the item from the fountain room. And then we go through the heated area. Oh, we can't get this item right now. Yeah, that's right! We never fought Flagra because I didn't want to. Well, it's okay. That room is the ruined fountain, and me pulling back that thing was not necessary in any way. Yes, yes, the room is warm. Freebie. Is this the training chamber? I want to see what room this is, but the ghosts have to come in and be like, hey, we're here too. Yes, this is the training chamber. So this is where we have to get us another artifact. At which point, I then have to hope that the other artifact in Main Plaza is the one that is across the grapple points. Otherwise, I'm stuck looking for the super missile again. Exit sorted. We got an item to get here, so the exit is only going to do us so much good. Pops open a rail. Gives us a little access port. Over we go. And artifact time. I said artifact time. There we go. The artifact of strength. Oh, right. This is the room with the crushers. Well, we can take a little bit of damage. It's fine. Come on. Alright, so here we are, back on top of the main plaza. You say, I don't remember how to get our grapple just right there. Yes! Oh my goodness, we may be able to complete this without having the super missile at all. What artifacts remain? Well, one artifact that remains is me screwing up the controls. Alright. Artifact of Wild is in the furnace. Artifact of Life Giver is in the dynamo. Artifact of Nature is in the Arbor Chamber. Arbor Chamber is another place in this level, I believe, but I'm trying to remember where it is. Arboretum is there. That goes all the way down to this one. Wait, no. Arbor Chamber is back in... Well, first of all, I got the dynamo spot on. Arbor Chamber is back in... Talon Overworld, maybe? And one problem is that I can't really go look at the map, because, or, you know, get a map station, because that won't give me room names. Arbor Chamber, I think, is at the cap of the tower that leads down to the artifact that is the elevators is usually for Magmore Caverns. That gets rid of those Reaper Vines nice and good. Fully charged Plasma Beam will eliminate them. I'm not 100% sure how common knowledge that is, but just in case it is not, that is a very good thing to use if you're backtracking in a location that has Reapers. Reaper Vines or the Aqua Reaper, a fully charged Plasma Beam shot will toast them completely. You can also see that those shots are just cutting through enemies like butter in general. Very nice. It's sometimes hard to notice because of the short range of the plasma beam, but that is indeed a classic feature of the plasma beam in other Metroid games, so it is nice to see it in this one as well. Right, back to the dynamo. This is the room we've been in before. But we were unable to get this item at the time. It's just the one, okay. And that's the Artifact of Life Giver. Now it's onward to the furnace. It is just as well that we unlock the furnace earlier in the game because, yeah. Oh yeah, we ended up fighting, we fought the incinerator drone anyway, so it wasn't a particularly useful fight, I don't think, but still, it was a thing we did. And yes, here's an enemy set that you don't really get to ever be privy to in this room, because usually you're supposed to come here with the spider ball in order to get through the other area, but you can actually do some sequence breaking to get here before you fight Flagra even. You probably won't have power bombs. At least I think you can get here before you fight Flagra. I'm pretty sure the boost ball is not necessary for the upstairs of the furnace tunnel. And of course, coming here is not particularly useful because with no boost ball and no spider ball and no power bombs, you can't actually get into the spider ball track here. Well, the general purpose ball related stunt track, I guess. Really hard to see a shadow down there, so yeah, that's a bit of a pain, but here we are. Well, that was strange. And there's our Artifact of Wild. Guess let me get off the rails. As if this was ever on the rails. Do ho 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 ho. So there's a couple of items that we can get for free from the bowling statue room. And we may as well pick them up. Especially because I think right now we only have to fight the one Chozo Ghost. That adds up to a very easy life we get there. And again, this is another fairly easy sequence break location. Because while you're supposed to do this and use the spider ball to grab onto the track, it's surprisingly simple to actually get to one of those little things that's sticking out of the wall and use that to jump up there. Thus basically meaning that you can get in here as soon as you get the wave beam. But of course, we weren't doing that in this playthrough because we didn't want to get walled behind anything. I say we were as opposed to we are just because I don't really know if this is going to be a one session or this might actually. I'm going to probably, once I grab all 12 artifacts, take a crack at Meta Ridley and see if I get demolished or not. And if I do, then I'll put off the rest of this until next time I do a Casual Friday stream. And if I don't, then I'll just go through and clear the rest of the game afterwards, because Metroid Prime, the boss, is nowhere near as hard as Meta Ridley for me. I got nothing. That's good, because of course I started the game with the space jump and the charge beam, because those are probably the two most important items, and forcing those to be randomly repositioned can basically make progression in general very much a nightmare. So I wanted to do that in order to expedite things a little bit. I think that's quite common for, it's like a quite common setting for when people race this as well, is to have just even, well, some number of items available at the start, basically. Alright, so here we go. There it goes again. There I go again. Let's pop this door open. Get our item. Is this the other nothing? No, it's just a missile. It would be hilarious if it had been the other nothing entry. The other null item. So let me double check here. I think we're at 11 artifacts now. Yes. The only one that remains is an Arbor Chamber, which, as I've said previously, I believe to be the one in Talon Overworld. However, regardless, I'm going to have to back up a bit to reset this room. Or reset the statue, at least. He's still pushed forward. You're still pushed forward. Fuck my entire life. I have to go back, like, probably all the way to the furnace. And that's going to reset the fight, probably all the way up to 3 ghosts. Yeah, we're getting ghosts spawning in here now, so this room should be back to what it was before. Yes, it's reset. And in fact, it's not going to spawn ghosts. Alright. That's really weird, but I do not mind at all. Right, pop in here. And that sets us up with a tube that we can use to get over to that area that's behind the force field. Oh, they were clever. They almost had me. But nope, we are getting ourselves out of this room into the back of the Chozo Ruins. Into the place where the ice beam usually resides. Pop open the drain. bust out of that stone toad. What's in here? Alright. Can not complain. You wanna look through? Okay. So that's the lava lake in Magmore Caverns. No really need to go there anymore, I don't think. Meanwhile, over here should be the back end of Phendrana. And also a save station. Because, yeah, that's the only elevator we haven't come across is Quarantine Cave. So let's take the elevator down. Let's go get the item from the ice. And then see if I can hash out what a good path is back to Talon Overworld, other than just going back through all of Chozo Ruins, which, granted, that's not really too hard. Alright, let me get that free item here. It's the super missile. Alright. So you know what that means. We get another free item in the Chozo Ruins area. We're just going to go back through and plow through and... yeah. We're going to go there. We're going to hit the ship. We're going to double check that room that I was thinking of is indeed Arbor Chamber, although I believe it is. And if for some reason it's not, then I suppose we will put this on hold for a bit. If it is, then we are going to go and give Meta Ridley a piece of our mind. And, you know, hopefully win that fight easily. And hopefully be able to do this in one stream. That would be pretty incredible, because I have not yet had a one-stream seed. Granted, I've only done a very few of these, so, you know, in my defense, I'm not, like, a super expert or anything. Also, I do love just how many of the Chozo ghost fights you can just ignore. Because it's quite a few. I enjoy how they were just continuing to get angry in the background. That's always funny. Stop beaming me, please. I'm very sensitive to lasers. They're my... I'd say my one weakness, but that's a little untrue. Now, I said we were gonna get this, right? Well, if I didn't, let us indeed get this. If I can remember how to get in here. Is this going to require us to come in through the other side again? If so, then it's kind of a waste. But I think we can do this, like, just from a higher up position. At all. Yeah. And we'll take ourselves a free couple of missiles and get ourselves back out to the Talon overworld. Hear that thing making some noise. I goofed that up pretty badly. Got some corners. Okay, root tunnel, root cave. This might not be what I'm thinking it is, but we're gonna find out. Is it? Yes. All right. We have all 12 artifacts. It's go time. Let's go get ourselves dropped all the way down the root cave and go back upstairs and save. And we're going to take a chance against Metroid because I have a feeling that And I say take a chance because I have a feeling that I will get my butt kicked pretty bad. I'm not good at Metroid at the best of times, and these are not the best of times. I do not have 14 energy. I don't have 14 energy tanks. I don't have full armor defense. I only have the defense of having the Varia suit. However, I'm far more confident about my ability to take down Metroid Prime, who is not a very impressive fight. However, even if we, you know, if we do not succeed, well, I guess we'll do it next time. And I'll throw in some extra stuff there, and yeah, it'll be fun no matter what. Right, that's the room where the space jump usually is. And this way to the artifact chamber. Although, either way, I do want to point out the amount of major things that we didn't do. We didn't fight Flagra. We didn't fight Thardis. We didn't go to any of Phazon Mines. That is pretty incredible. Actually, I take that back. We did enter the one door of Phazon Mines because I thought we had to. But that's not really being in Phazon Mines now, is it? Alright, Meta Ridley. If you would like to land early, that would actually make my life quite a bit easier, Meta Ridley. But I don't suppose you're much of a fan of making people's lives easy. I've been in this fight before. I had a pretty bad time with it the last seed that I did. It was a little bit ragey, so I definitely know that Meta Ridley is not about making people's lives easier. He's just kind of a dick. Where are you at, Chief? Oh, yep. Let me remember to do the correct move here, basically. And I goofed that up pretty badly. I hit the wrong button. And I had to roll backwards in order to try to be safe. Hit him in the toe. Come on. Toe. Come on. Get. Yes, that's a thing that a lot of people might not know about, is that you can basically skip the entire first phase or so of the fight in the version 1.00 NTSC of Metroid Prime by boost balling Meta Ridley in the toe when he lands. It takes off the big screen things on his wings, and you skip the cutscene and you just jump right into phase 2. And frankly, that is fucking great if you speedrun this game. That's like the only real speedrun technique that I know how to do, aside from a couple of small sequence breaks to get the ice beam early and stuff. Oh, are you gonna give me this for free? Come on. Be a friend. You're not gonna be a friend. Fucking space dragons, am I right? That was incredible! That RNG, holy shit! Yes! Ha! Meta Ridley go down the hole! Oh ho ho! That's right, folks. We can do this in one session easily. Oh, this feels good. I said late on in the last one that I would love to at some point hit a seed that I can do in a single session. And here it is. We're gonna be just about 3 hours, maybe 3.5 to beat this, I think. Unless I get too big for my britches and I fail against Metroid Prime, who is quite a bit easier than the dumb idiot dragon. That would be a pretty shameful showing, for sure. Oh, we actually did take a hit from a Lumigek. That by itself is a little bit of a shameful display. And here we are in the teeth room. Gotta be careful. Red phase on sucks. Getting bitten would suck even more. That Metroid actually had any semblance of aim. That's the missile station. My missiles are perfectly healthy. I do not need a single... Oh, get the fuck out of here. And you get the fuck out of here, too. Can you believe that taunting jackass just got on the... like, right outside the radius? and decided not to suicide against my bomb explosion earlier. I mean, what kind of a jerk enemy doesn't want to end its own life on your heavy ordnance? Like, for real. How dare you want to live? Also, slightly shameful that I have... It's the first time I've taken red phazon damage on stream, I believe. Although I could be wrong about that. And in fact, I'm going to forget how that room works, and I'm just going to power through it. Being down an energy tank does take a little bit of the wind out of my sails in terms of my level of confidence here. Because Form 1 of Prime does hurt. Alright, Power Beam. You're gonna give me the easy stuff. Okay. Easy stuff where I will still miss out my super missiles. Well, thanks a lot for pushing me back. I gotta remember to get all the way back here. Alright, so... Yeah, see, I told you, Prime Phase 1 is not exactly without a little bit of muscle. Its attacks are a lot harder to dodge than Prime Phase 2, and it does have that guarding shell. Prime Phase 2 is just a gimmick fight through and through, though, so whatever. It's basically there because they had the Hyper Beam in Super Metroid, and that game was so good that they had to have it in a future game as well. Alright. I would appreciate it if you didn't do that, Prime. Okay, what's next? Ice. Right, no ice spreader, so that big source of damage is gone, unfortunately. But this part of the fight should still not prove very difficult. The ice beam's damage is quite solid. Oh no, I'm having a disconnected reconnecting issue. I would like to apologize to everybody who is watching this on stream for the disconnection there. I just got a notification from OBS. Okay, reconnection successful. We should be back in business. I'd like to apologize for that. But of course, do not worry. A full recording of the VOD will be on YouTube because I have the common sense and, you know, well, common sense might be a strong word. I suppose that streaming is still not like the super common hobby. But even then, I did have the foresight to remember to do a recording to the hard drive. And by the way, the VODs of this week's streams, I know that I have been really bad about posting them on YouTube. For anyone out there who happens to watch my, or be subscribed to my little VOD posting channel, Moonside Arcade, I've been quite bad about remembering to upload those this week, but they will absolutely be up by Sunday at the latest. Fuck you too, OBS. I just disconnected again. In fact, I shouldn't be saying fuck you to OBS because it's not really their fault. Their software is still good and easy to use. It is the fault entirely of my internet service provider. Me taking that laser beam to the face was the fault of yours truly. Don't get hit by Plasma Form's beam! Like that, you get set on fire, and it does a lot of extra damage. It's not good. It is, in fact, what you might consider to be substandard. Anyway, these balls are like a good source of pickups, but also they hurt really badly if they hit you. I'm actually starting to get very, very concerned at this point. Especially because Metroid Prime is being a right asshole and blocking all of my attacks. Alright, can you give me some energy, please? No, you're just gonna give me missiles. Well, fuck you and your missiles. I don't need missiles right now. I don't need missiles unless Prime goes into Power Beam form. And it went into Ice Beam form. Jesus! I can't dodge anything anymore. I admit that I'm getting a little bit salty about these disconnections because, like, yeah. That combined with my increasing nerves from the fact that I'm getting my butt kicked in this fight compared to how I usually do. It's just a snowball effect, which is fitting when I'm using the Ice Beam. Alright, Plasma Beam? No, Ice Beam. Oh god. Get away from the flamethrower. Cut it out, you anus! Yeah, see, we're down to 1 energy tank. This does not instill confidence in me. That attack with the globules is like the only way to get any sort of pickups during this fight. And Prime has just not been using it, like, ever. It popped out twice. Okay, there we go. That's better. And on top of that, these things have been real assholes by giving me just missiles and shit. Alright, there we go. That's a Mega Energy or whatever they're called. Fuck! Oh no! Oh! That was actually kind of my fault. Because I landed that super missile at such time that Prime would have to charge. And the balls would basically get to me by the time I popped out a ball there. So, yes, we will try that again. However, I think we can do this in one... I think I still want to do this as like a 1 session because we're this close. We are this close. And I'm sure that I can do this if I just don't screw up a few parts here and there. Oh! And then just like that, I get hit by Lumigex twice in a row and slip into the Phazon a little bit. So let's try to avoid getting hit if we can. I hear a Fission Metroid. Fuck off. I definitely made that jump. Come on. You can definitely tell that this is when the salt is going to kick in. Seriously? Oh my god! Like... Then again, I don't know where it was, so, yeah, I can't be that mad about... Where'd the platform go? Where's the motherfucking platform? Get off me! I could swear that there was a platform here. I'm starting to lose the thread a little bit. I'm definitely angry about losing to Prime Form 1 there. And somehow I managed to completely miss where the platform was, because of a huge blind spot or something. Well, whatever. Well, it would be a lot easier if I wasn't so blind. Get off my dick. Give me an item. Or don't. I guess that's always a distinct possibility as well. And another one has spawned in already, because, of course... God, this This ambience, I hesitate to call it music. It's so gross sounding. Oh, you again. Wow, that was some, that was definitely some aim correction that fella got for itself. Alright, you wanna... Would you like to consider maybe being frozen would be nice? And perhaps dropping items would be even nicer, but no, you're not nice people. We get it. It's amazing how fast I forget the layout of this room. Like, wow, I'm kind of embarrassed for myself for ever screwing this up. Okay. So, here we go. Don't hit the boost button. That's a good way to send yourself to Pain Town Population U. I also would, again, it helps that I have the correct perspective here, as I have to, in some cases, just rearrange my, Yeah, see, and this is why I fell in the pit at in the last one, is because I was coming forward, so I legitimately could not see part of those spider ball tracks. Which, they've got an organic form of them in here for some reason. I don't 100% understand that. Right, power beam form is pathetic. Just don't get hit by the death beret. And let's switch over to another form. Back yourself up to the wall. Wave beam form is what we call in the trade sub-ideal, in-ideal, non-ideal. I don't know why I say sub-ideal so much. I'm pretty sure that that's not even a term. But if it isn't, it perhaps should be. Okay, show me the easy money. With Rodney Dangerfield. And, I don't know who else. I just know that that's a movie that stars Rodney Dangerfield that is called... Did I get hurt by my own reflected plasma beam? If so, that's awesome! I can't be mad about that. That's kind of hilarious. And yes, I will definitely say it. This part of the fight, without the ice spreader, blows. Because you can see how easy it is for Prime to just be like, oh, look, it's the slowest bullet known to man. Let's go ahead and let's dodge that. Just... bleh. Just use a tractor beam and, like, sort of get yourself into a position where you are not getting pulled anymore. It's a little weird. I think there's sort of a tension mechanic to it. I could be wrong. And, of course, somehow get hit in the face with the lava beam. It's because I was over on the far wall, basically, and was dodging in the wrong direction. Right, enough with the gas clouds, because I cannot see those, like, at all. They're outside of my periphery. Alright, so switching out the ice... You bastard. It knew the exact thing I really didn't want to see! Hell! Boners! Do the stupid ice wave thing on the ground, damn it. Come on, that's easier to deal with. For some reason. Alright, I'm getting in the hole. And I got hit by that thing while I was in the hole. That causes, needless to say, quite some issues. This run of the fight is not likely to go much of anywhere. Stop it! Stop it, you son of a... Ugh! Let me have a chance here! Oh my god! I can't kill those things with the power bomb. Why? What kind of a monster makes that decision? Oh. This is doing me in a little bit here. I screwed up some very easy dodges. All right, you're in ice mode for probably far too long. Can I shoot these plasma beam? Yeah, or plasma beam, power beam. Yes. Fuck, get off me! I'm glad that that's, like, incremental, so I have a chance to... How are you reflecting that with your... Are you shrinking your hitbox, Chief? Are you... Oh, boy. Oh. I'm at 2 health. I'm at 2 health. Oh, I'm fucked. Yeah. I screwed up that dodge. I was gonna get hit by the bomb anyway, so, Alright, we're gonna take another crack at this. I think we can do this. I think we can do this if we just don't fail so badly. That and, you know, if this absolute piece of trash just would let me get a word in edgewise once in a while. Unfortunately, that is a little much to ask. So, yeah. Alright, this time, remember to use this platform and don't go around there. As soon as you hear the attack sound, enter ball form, because you are going to get hit. It's just the rules. Go to hell. Not having that today. Again, I would like to apologize for the rage. I'm upset because, again, this fight usually is really easy for me. Tedious, but quite easy. And these monsters aren't dropping anything, which I think is actually quite normal, so... You know, I'm not, like... You know, it's not some weird deviation from anything here. And I'm, you know, upset about failing this fight, especially considering the Meta Ridley fight that I had, which is usually the thing I am the very worst at. Because Meta Ridley is just kind of a jerk. Drop. Okay, we got noticeably more health than the last couple times, so hopefully we'll be able to do this. I'm going to preemptively switch to Power Beam because I have a feeling that that's what we're going to be dealing with here. And, alright. Yep, Power Beam form first. Alright, Prime, have you considered, like, getting hit by a super missile? Didn't think so. Alright. Wave Beam. I think these first two are fixed, and then everything afterwards is randomized or semi-randomized. Semi-randomized as in certain forms are basically gated behind certain, like, we'll call them sub-phases. Basically, after Prime takes a certain amount of damage is when certain other beams can pop up. Although I gotta say, the fact that those shots can actually hit you when they are reflected, which I've probably noticed before but haven't really commented on, is quite infuriating. Like, damn. Oh, here comes the plasma, the big power cannon. All right, get in the floor. And there you go. That's an easy strategy for those sections is to go in the side trenches there. Another easy strategy is having a bunch of missiles and the Wave Buster at this point. But as you might have noticed, we didn't collect the Wave Buster, so a little hard to say that now, isn't it? Okay. Ice Beam. I should consider just attacking while I know it's safe. Alright. I think it goes 3, 4, no, 2 for the first one, 3 hits for this one, 4 for this one, and then maybe 5 all the way at the end, but it's certainly not, Oh, you jerk. I was about to feed this fella up. Super missile. I was going to feel good about myself. I was not going to feel good about myself, but I was going to do a ton of damage. Alright, so Ice Beam form again. Dodge the shit beam. Get frozen anyway. Can you, like, give me a brief breather in which to attack in? We're gonna switch to Power Beam to deal with these. Because the Ice Beam fires too slow! No! Crap! You wanna go and fuck yourself? Stupid asshole. Ugh. Again, sorry about the rage, but wow! This part of the fight is being pretty nasty. Oh god, I saw the health meter and for a second I was like, oh, I can get him. It's gonna end, the phase is gonna end there, so I did it stupid. Oh, here comes the gas bombs. Which again, I could swear that the gas field was much smaller previously. And thankfully that section of Plasma Beam went down quite fast. No chance for me to get burnt. Shooting out the high speed shots here. I don't know what to call those, but they definitely make like racing noises, so high speed shots is what I'm going for in my head. Alright, there we go. That's five damage animations. And we move on to the final phase. Look at our health. We are in such good condition right now. I'm not going to say I'm in the zone because I'm clearly not. I am feeling like it could end at any moment and I could just get completely screwed, but damn it, I'm trying. Oh. And OBS disconnected again. Awesome. That has me tilted as hell, too. Like, the fact that OBS is just like, hey. Again, it's not an OBS thing. It's my internet service provider not being very good tonight. Alright, come on. Get across to the other side. Now, if you could give me some fairly free and easy... No, you're going to do Wave Beam. And you're going to start breaking out the Ice Wave. Seriously? I didn't touch that. That should have faded out by then. Did I hit it at, like, one of its last few frames of existence? That's a good way for me to feel like an idiot. Alright, Plasma Beam. Ice Beam. Fuck off with the Ice Beam. Never bring that trash into my house. I said never bring that trash into my house. Turn colors, you... I was fully expecting, by the way, that the moment I switched to the Ice Beam, it was gonna switch back to, like, Plasma or something. What the... Uh-oh? Okay, I just am getting dogpiled. Oh my god! What the fuck? My health just vanished! Are you kidding me right now? What the absolute goddamn fuck was any of that shit? I couldn't see anything for, like, several seconds, and I lost, like, 5 energy tanks in the incursion. Alright, you better switch. Fuck! Right off! Oh my god, What was that? I've never had that happen before. And it really hurt my eyes, by the way. Like, it's not too bad because I wasn't in, like, full screen, but looking at that was not good. Oh my god, my throat is so raw right now. I'm gonna do one more try at this. And then I'll be honest, I'm at a point where I don't want to continue this in another session. So I might just give up and be like, you know what, I beat it. We've seen this a million times before. I got everything. I got the, you know, I beat Meta Ridley. I've been stuck on this boss for hours. I got absolutely cheated on the one fight that I had that was going good. My controller didn't take an input there for a second. And that's what I'm going to blame, and not my general incompetent... Wow, did I go flying. Hey, Vision Metroids, have you considered having drops? It's this really cool thing that actual enemies do. Then again, these things just recur infinitely, so I guess they didn't want you to farm or something. Even though that's a recurring thing in every other Metroid game. Alright. Get out of here! How dare you touch me. Honestly, the fact that it made contact with me is, again, actually seriously kind of BS, but at the very least it didn't take damage. Where the fuck did you come from, pardon me? Pardon my French. Oh, this doesn't really fill me with a lot of confidence for this round, because... No, I quit. I'm done. I won. I'm sorry. I won. That's it. I'm done.